It is another picture-perfect weather night in downtown Cincinnati. We welcome you to Great American Ballpark. Reds looking for the 3-game sweep tonight as they entertain the Pittsburgh Pirates. And hi again, everybody, alongside Chris Welsh. I'm Tom Brenneman. Welcome, as always, to Reds Baseball. We talked about it last night, Chris. You know, you hate to do it. You hate to do it. But you love to do it. Talking about that magic number, you love to do it. It could get down into single digits tonight.
I mean, just the name magic number. When it's your team that has a magic number and you can get it down to single digits, you love to do it. You love to talk about it. We've held off about it as long as you can. And the way that this Reds ball club has been winning the last couple of games, it's inevitable. You got to talk about it.
Well, we talk about tonight's game. It's certainly a tall order, and trying to beat a guy that so far this year they have been unable to beat. 3-0 is A.J. Burnett against the Reds this season.
Well, he's got to look at his ball club and say, you know what? My Pirates team has lost 5 games in a row. They need me now more than ever before. And A.J. Burnett against the Reds this year, well, the Reds have had a hard time hitting him. They've hit him in the low 200s batting average against. They've only managed 3 extra base hits against A.J. Burnett in 3 games against the Reds. So he's had their number. He's got that little breaking ball that he just teases you with down in the bottom of the zone. And if he's on his game, it's a tough challenge for Dusty's team.
Take a look at the pitching matchup for tonight. It'll be Burnett going up against Homer Bailey, who's in search of his 11th win of the year. And, Chris, we look at some of the video from his last couple of starts. Is he starting to right the ship again?
Well, you hope so. I mean, against the Pirates, he's been very, very good. In fact, both his career complete games have been against the Pirates. But this year he's had one real good game, a complete game, and he's had 2 kind of bad games against the Pirates. I think he's throwing the ball well. I don't think fatigue is a factor at all with Homer Bailey because he's not that full effort pitcher that he has been in the past. I expect him to go toe-to-toe with A.J. Burnett tonight. A good matchup, pitching matchup-wise, of a couple of hard-throwing right-handers out there. Interesting, very compelling for me.
All right, when we come back, the man who's going to try and perhaps close it out for Homer Bailey tonight if he needs a little help. Stepping in for a role is Chapman, the big fella. Jonathan Broxton. We'll talk about him next. Thompson Plumbing, heating, cooling, and drain cleaning. Here's John Gum.
All right, another beautiful night for baseball. A little warmer this evening. We'll start out around 80 degrees for the first pitch, 75 by the seventh inning, low 70s by the final out. A good night for a sweep. Throw me the broom, Henry. Enjoy the game here on Fox Sports Ohio.
Very, very nice. Sweeping up in the ninth inning for Aroldis Chapman last night, Chris, was Jonathan Broxton.
Well, Jonathan Broxton, I think, relishes the opportunity to be the guy at the very end of the bullpen. I mean, when Aroldis Chapman now is going to get 5 days to a week off, you need to have somebody step in. And hey, I think the Reds would have been happy at the very beginning of the year had they not had Aroldis Chapman and Broxton been their closer. He's the backup guy, your plan B, but he certainly is capable. First 6 games and 6 innings that he's pitched, you can see the difference right there. Lately, though, Jonathan Broxton, and he said it last night in the postgame, once his elbow problems began to subside a little bit, that's when he started throwing more strikes, getting more strikeouts, giving up fewer earned runs. His last 9 games, he has been lights out.
All right, here we go. Will the Reds be breaking out the broom by night's end? First pitch coming up next. Leading things off is Brock Holt, the Pirates' second baseman. Homer Bailey lets it fly, and that's the right one, and we are underway. Homer Bailey looking for his 11th win of the year. He has 9 losses and an ERA fractionally above 4.
Well, still a young man, 26 years old, making start number 107 of his major league career. Overall, he is 3 games over 500, 35 wins, 32 losses. I think that the jump that Homer has made this year has been remarkable. I just believe that he's a different pitcher this year than in years past. He doesn't seem to put as much effort into every delivery, and he seems to wiggle out of trouble instead of letting those innings sometimes blow the game up on him.
Holt fouls it away. It's a ball and 2 strikes. The Reds come in 86 wins, 57 losses. They have their largest lead they've had all year long in the National League Central, 10.5 games. St. Louis has gone to San Diego, lost the last 2 days, while the Reds were beating these Pirates the last 2 nights. In fact, San Diego at it again, a 3rd inning, 1-0 lead in the series wrap up right now. On the ground to Brandon Phillips, and that's out number 1. Take a look at Clint Hurdle's starting lineup tonight. Josh Harrison, the Princeton High School grad, and UC Bearcat coming up, playing third tonight. McCutcheon batting in a 3-hole. Garrett Jones out to right. Gavi Sanchez, his first start in the series. Alex Presley in left. A ladder third of Barmes Barajas. And 15-game winner A.J. Burnett on the mound. The aforementioned Josh Harrison, former Princeton Viking and UC Bearcat. He looks at a breaking ball low. He's only made one appearance in this series. That was during the extra inning game. He struck out as a pinch hitter on Monday night. A ball and a strike. Pirates making a very late change in their lineup tonight. Harrison was not originally in it. They had Pedro Alvarez down at third base. But then he was a late scratch, and Harrison in there getting the nod. 2 balls and a strike. That ball in the air, right center field, and Heisey's got it. 2 up, 2 down. We look at the Reds on defense, presented by your Ford dealers. Heisey patrolling center, flanked by Ludwig and Bruce. Same infield we saw here last night. And getting his first start in this series is Ryan Hannigan. Deanna Navarro had started each of the first 2 games. So now Andrew McCutcheon went 0 for 4 here last night. He had 2 hits, was on base 4 times in a series opener, including a home run. .338 batter, 26 home runs, and 85 runs batted in for McCutcheon. 1-1.
McCutcheon is certainly having a year this year that puts him among the elite MVP candidates. Interesting to look back on his minor league career, where he came from. He was drafted in that 2005 draft in the first round by the Pirates, 1 place ahead of Jay Bruce.
Little roller off the end of the bat. Bailey will get to it, and the inning is over. Good start for Homer. 1, 2, 3 go the Bucks. Reds are coming up, trying to chop down A.J. Burnett for the first time this year. ...2012 Ford F-150 Motor Trend Truck of the Year. By the Regional Tourism Network, let us be your travel guide to Cincinnati, USA. Visit CincinnatiUSA.com. And by Skyline Chili, game time is Skyline time. Stop by your favorite Skyline Chili tonight. Reds lineup: Brandon Phillips, Wilson Valdez, Joey Votto. Ryan Ludwig, Jay Bruce, Scott Rowland. Rowland homered here last night. Ladder third of Chris Heisey, Ryan Hannigan, and Homer Bailey. And after getting out of that American League, where he had some very good years, once was an 18-game winner in Toronto, but scuffled the last couple of years with the Yankees. But all is right back in the National League for A.J. Burnett.
Well, remember that the Yankees are paying the majority of A.J. Burnett's salary this year. They were so anxious to get rid of him that the Pirates picked him up with that condition that the Yankees have come along with some cash. Making start number 336 in his 15-year Major League career. Over 500 by about 13 games. And he's a competitor. He has really single-handedly helped his ball club early in the year. I mean, he started on the disabled list, but when he started to get on a roll, he helped give this Pittsburgh Pirates team the belief that they could compete in the National League Central Division.
Brandon Phillips to lead things off. And a fastball misses away. Brandon on the first pitch from Kevin Correa last night. Launched one to the seats in left field. One of 2 hits in the game, scored twice, knocked in a pair of runs. Two and 0. It's a good way to start a ball game.
Well, it is, especially when you given the fact that when Brandon Phillips homers in a ball game, the Reds are 16 and zip. So that's why they were so happy in that part of the dugout.
Two balls, no strikes on Brandon. And that's a slow roller. Broken bat, sounded like right at home. And Burnett retires Phillips. The Buccos on defense, presented by Ford. Presley, McCutchen, Jones. Harrison has started third base. And Gaby Sanchez has started first. And Barajas started the opener, sat down last night, back in there tonight.
So you look at A.J. Burnett and then Homer Bailey. Homer Bailey's 26, Burnett's 35. So if you fast forward the clock 9 years, and if Homer Bailey is fortunate enough to have a long career like A.J. Burnett, he may be almost the exact style pitcher that Burnett is. Not overpowering with the fastball, but by then he's got a good, repeatable delivery. Can spot the fastball. He's got a little tighter breaking ball, I think, at this point than does Homer Bailey. Nonetheless, he broke into the major leagues when he was 22 years old with the Florida Marlins. Same kind of body style.
One and two to ball. Does checks in an even 200 batter. Had a good game here last night. 2 hits and a walk, on base 3 times in 4 plate appearances. Slow roller cut off by Harrison. And Burnett retires the first 2 in the opening inning. You know, Chris, there are a lot of people out there that say, I know this already, but I have people every single year ask me about the magic number and exactly how it works, and you know how you can go in one day from 12 to 10 rather than just 12 to 11. And again, for many of you out there, you already know, but it's a combination at this point in time of Reds wins and Cardinal losses. So going into the game last night, the magic number was 12. Well, the Reds won, Cardinals lost, thus down to 10. And Votto clutches one through the hole in the left side. A base hit with 2 outs here in the first inning. Chris, your impressions of Votto so far since coming back?
Well, he's always used left field, and he hasn't hit any home runs in left field since coming back, but he is a guy that's going to hit that ball over there just about every chance he gets, unless he gets out in front of a breaking ball and decides to pull that. That ball sharply hit by Votto.
Joey, only one extra base hit since coming back, but this kind of thing takes time. Whereas Votto says he learned a lot and how much he appreciated this game. He thought he appreciated it before the injury. But after sitting and watching for 2 months, so eager and hungry to get back out here, and talked a lot about the fans. A ball and no strikes on Ryan Ludwig. Votto at first with 2 outs. And there's a breaking ball. And that's that breaking ball you talked about, Chris. That's got some bite on it.
It does. And that's his calling card. That and his control, his ability to keep the ball down. You know, he throws just hard enough to keep you honest, too. Anywhere from 90 to 93, 94 miles an hour. But with the Pittsburgh Pirates, I mean, they're teetering right now. I mean, they've had a bad run, and they're only 2.5 games back in the wild card, so they're certainly not out of it by any means. But they've lost 5 games in a row. I mean, at some point, you have to run a stopper out there. They've lost 22 of their last 31, so they're reeling. And at some point, your stopper's got to go out there and be the stopper. And I think that's what they're hoping that Burnett does tonight. So you told us about the magic number, Tom, but you didn't tell us how to figure out the magic number. Do you know the mathematical formula for actually figuring it out?
I'd love to hear it, because math has certainly never been my strong suit, as I've proven pretty much on a weekly basis.
Yep. Nor mine, but
oh, here we go.
We can look it up. Oh, I'm not going to perform math in public. But from what I understand, you take the first place team's wins plus the second place team's losses, and you add 1, and that's the difference.
I tell you what, you have stepped up to the plate and made your alma mater, St. Xavier, very proud.
If it was only open book, would have done a lot better. That goes for about every test I've ever taken.
Wait a minute. I mean, come on. Three and 2 to count on Ludwig. But thank you for that. Again, I know there are a lot of people that are saying, hey, I know this already. Well, you know what? There are also some that don't. And now, maybe tomorrow around their water cooler at work, they walk up to somebody and say, hey, you know how to figure out the magic number. 3-2 pitch. We'll do it again.
Or they could simply tune into Fox Sports Ohio on our pregame show. Guys, we'll tell you about it tomorrow. Not tomorrow, but on Friday before the ball game. We will certainly bring it up Friday during the ball game.
So will you be part of the checklist on Friday night? I noticed that was absent once again, I might add, tonight during Reds Live. 3-2 on Ludwig, and he struck him out on that curveball. So a yay or a nay on the checklist Friday night?
Entirely up to Ken Dreamweaver.
I hear most likely yes. Ohio. 2013 schedule released today, Chris, and a first in Major League history. Interleague to begin a regular season, and the Reds will be involved as baseball's first team. They will take on the Angels of Anaheim right here at Great American Ballpark.
Yeah, that's one of the first things you ask is, who do you have on your interleague schedule?
First pitch swinging, Garrett Jones to begin the second inning of a scoreless game.
And what Major League Baseball is trying to do is to give everybody in every division as nearly as an identical interleague schedule as everybody else. Now, you're going to have your natural rivals. The natural rivals of the Reds, of course, are the Indians. The natural rivals of the Cardinals, for instance, are the Kansas City Royals. But they're trying to make things a little bit more even anyway, because for years that was one of the main complaints, that some teams were getting off easy and some teams were not. For instance, the Mets have to play the New York Yankees every year. They don't feel that that's particularly fun, but it is a natural rival, to say the least. One thing about that schedule, though, is that the Reds will have 2 long West Coast type trips. One that will take them through Arizona, Oakland, and then Texas to play the Rangers. And the other, just like this year, to play a 10-game long West Coast trip against the 3 National League West teams.
2 up, 2 down as Sanchez rolls out to Phillips.
At the very end of the year, you always look at what happens at the end of the year. The Reds next year in 2013 will finish at home. 3-game set against the Mets, a day off, and then a 3-game set against this Pittsburgh Pirate team.
Reds the last couple of years, after going a number of seasons of playing poorly out west, have played very, very well the last 2 years. This year they had the Giants, the Dodgers, and San Diego, and won 6 out of the 11 games. Split a series, lost a series in LA, and then won the final series up to the All-Star break over the Padres 3 out of 4. One anode Alex Presley. Presley at .237, 9 home runs, 20 runs batted in. As a second batter in the game last night, he homered off Mike Leake. Had 2 hits and 4 at-bats. Bailey has fallen behind, 3-1. A long look in. Now OK's assigned with Ryan Hannigan, and he issues a 2-out walk. First base runner against Bailey is a walk to Presley with 2 away in the second, and the inning continues for Clint Barmes. Barmes at .223, 6 home runs and 41 runs batted in. He had 2 hits in his only 2 at-bats here last night. Was hitless in a series opener, but did draw a walk. We thought at the time last night it was a rather curious decision made by Clint Hurdle after Barmes had gone 2 for 2 against Mike Leake. Then when the Reds ahead 4-1 and 2 on and nobody out in the 7th inning, Hurdle had Clement backed for Barmes. He bounced into a double play, and how big was that? Because the next batter, Sanchez, came off the bench to hit a 2-run home run. 1-1 to Barmes.
Well, this is certainly the guy that Homer Bailey wants, because you've got number 8 hitter coming up next, Rod Barajas, batting 197. A.J. Burnett, who's not a good hitting pitcher. So you'd love to have those guys lead the next inning off and kind of give you a freebie there in the 3rd inning.
Threw a fastball right, Varmus up and in, 2-2.
Looks like he didn't even see that ball. The invisible fastball, always nice to have one of those in your pocket.
Sure. Well, he threw it by him again. A walk, a man left, middle to second, no score. Dealers are proud to donate the Toyota Tundra to the American Red Cross. First responders from 8 area Red Cross centers will join Dusty Baker before the game, when this heroic organization will be honored and then awarded the Tundra. Compliments of your Cincinnati and Northern Kentucky Toyota dealers. Great stuff. Come on down, Reds and Dodgers that weekend. 513-381 Reds, or visit Reds.com. Jay Bruce on Monday named the National League's Player of the Week. He has started this week still in search of his first base hit. Went 0 for 5 in that 14-inning marathon. And then Jay hitless in 4 at-bats here last night. With 33 home runs, a team-high 96 batted in. That one is straightaway center field. A bit off the end of the bat. If Jay Bruce catches it clean, the Grand Canyon won't hold it. Roland played long ball here last night, 7th time this year, and it was a big run. Went from 4-3 to 5-3, and that was our final when Roland homered with 1 out in the 8th inning. 2 on Scotty Rowland, and a breaking ball sweeps away out of the right hand of A.J. Burnett. Burnett, going back to spring training, was taking batting practice, working on his bunting drills. Fouled a ball off the tip of the bat. It came and hit him in the eye and fractured the orbital bone around the eye. They didn't know when he'd come back. They thought he'd miss a lot of time. And man, the healing powers that be had him back shortly after the start of the year. Two-two pitch. And now full count on Rowland. Keep you up to date tonight on all the big series going on around baseball. And my, oh my, there are plenty of them. Philadelphia within 4 games of the wild card. A winner again today behind Cliff Lee. 3-1 over Miami. Should the Cardinals lose and they're trailing 1-0 in the 5th, the Phillies would be 3 games out of the wild card, and their strike 3 called to Rowland. Obviously, he did not like the call by Manny Gonzalez, who's calling the balls and strikes tonight.
He probably thought that ball was low. Great sink on the fastball. Manny Gonzalez, according to our Fox tracks, got it right. You couldn't place the ball out there any better than A.J. Burnett did right there. I mean, right on the corner on the knees. You look up and down this Reds roster, there are not too many players that have faced Burnett, more than 5 or 6 times that have had really any measure of success against him. Votto's only faced him 5 times. Deanna Navarro probably has had the best success of anybody, and that's an average just barely over 200.
Ahead of Heisey at 0-2. And just threw it right by him. A fastball at 93. A perfect second for Burnett. Off to the 3rd. No score. Time brought to you by Miller Lite. Here's tonight's Farmers Insurance report card. Pirates 16 games over 500, 4th best record in the National League on the 8th day of August. The worst record in the league since. Yet they are only 2.5 games out of the wild card. of a sudden that wild card has gotten a lot more crowded over the last few days. Philadelphia right in the thick of it now. 3.5 with their win already today. Milwaukee is gunning for the sweep against Atlanta tonight. They could be 3 games out of the wild card by night's end. What an unbelievable turnaround for both of those teams, and they're taking advantage of teams in front of them playing poorly for a long time.
Well, they're also ball clubs that score a lot of runs. Of course, the Phillies, on the other hand, they're getting some very good pitching right now. They've got the top of the rotation that can do it to just about anybody in any series.
On the ground, Barajas, 2 Valdez. I don't think there's any debate about it. I don't care who you are. Nationals, Reds, Giants, Atlanta. If you took a poll and said, hey, look, is there one team out there you would prefer not make the playoffs? I guarantee you the Philadelphia Phillies win that straw poll.
Well, when you've got 3 #1 pitchers at the top of your rear rotation the way they do, Roy Halladay, Cliff Lee, and Cole Hamels, doesn't matter if they use up their #1 guy in the playoff game or even in game number 163, the tie game, to get to the playoff game. They still have their number one guy to come at you. It's a scary team. There's no doubt about it in a short series.
San Diego, by the way, has tacked on to their lead with the Cardinals still batting in the bottom of the 5th inning and now in front 2-0. Burnett looks at a fastball right down the middle, 1-2. Big series in the American League. Baltimore and the Yankees are tied atop the American League East. Tampa Bay 2 back. Baltimore a 2-1 lead over the Rays in the second. Yankees scoreless at Fenway in the second. The tapper down to Votto, and he'll go to the bag for the second out of the inning. I'd like to remind you tonight's Ohio Lottery Powerball jackpot is worth $110 million, and the drawing is tonight at 11. Top of the order, Brock Holding grounded out to Brandon Phillips, leading off the game. 2 down, none on, no score. And there's strike 1 at the knees. Base hit into center field, and hold a 2-out base runner. Hitting will continue for Josh Harrison. Harrison got his first taste of the major leagues last year. And a spot starter from time to time with a big league club this season. You can play him virtually everywhere. There's the first pitch, fastball, and there's a strike. He's made 17 starts at short, 10 at second, 10 in right field. Tonight is 8th down at third base.
Well, he was a second baseman when he went to the University of Cincinnati. 2008 Big East Co-Player of the Year. Has the distinction of being one of the top drafted players ever out of the University of Cincinnati. He and Kevin Youkilis, first couple of Bearcats, they were drafted in the first 10 rounds. Youkilis, of course, went back in 2001, so it had been a while since the Bearcats had a high round draft pick like that.
Oh, 1 pitch, and it's popped up. Foul ground over beyond the Pirates dugout and out of play. Speaking of Youkilis, he's in a big one tonight. There are 4 huge American League series going on right now. We talked about the 2 in the American League East. Out west, Oakland is looking to try and sweep the Angels in Anaheim later on. And then there's the Tigers and the White Sox. That's a 2-horse race in the American League Central. Chicago won the opener. Detroit won last night to get within 2 games of the division lead in round 3 later. This one in the air, and it is playable for Heisey, and that is at the Pirate third. They get a hit, they strand the runner. Middle of the third, still a scoreless game. Cincinnati will win the Tundra and display each and every night at Great American Ballpark, and you still have a chance to register to win it. And an upcoming game to stop by your Cincinnati and Northern Kentucky Toyota dealer. In our search to come up with a name for the howling that's been going on here at the ballpark, late innings, last couple of nights, we're going to open it up to you. Tweet us your best name at Fox Sports OH using the hashtag Reds Live. We'll show some of the answers during our game. Then on Friday night, we'll let you vote on which one you think is best. I wonder if we'll hear it again tonight, Chris Welch. That was quite the talk of the town on all the radio talk shows after the game last night and most of the day today.
Well, I think it's only a matter of time. Last couple of nights, it waited until the 7th or the 8th inning before it began to come around. I think that's probably what we're looking at again tonight.
Well, I think I can speak for you. You and I have gotten quite a kick out of it the last couple of nights.
It's fun. It's funny. I mean, it came out of nowhere.
Yep.
Of course, there's a million people that want to claim credit for being the first one. Some are saying that it has migrated from other cities, other sports. I don't know, but it's fun. And I know one thing, in that 14-inning game, when we ran out of coffee up here in the media dining room, kept us going.
Here to that. One and two on Ryan Hannigan. And right back where it came from. Second hit tonight for the Reds. The other off the bat of Joey Votto. So now Homer Bailey will be asked to advance, or at least one would assume, Hannigan with a bunt.
Well, all Hannigan right here. I mean, this is what he tries to do all the time, which is just simply hit it right back through the box. Sound strategy. When you've got one, you try to hit it to the worst fielder on the team. And it's usually a guy who's off balance, following through after just delivering a pitch, and he's only about 55 feet away from home plate. If you can hit it back through the middle, chances are you're going to have a pretty good batting average.
Not much of an offering there by Bailey on the first pitch. And it's strike one. Homer only has 4 sacrifices all year long.
Yeah, I'm not really sure whether it's the Reds not being able to get the bunts down or whether the defenses are playing more aggressively against them now. He's way up in the front of the batter's box. That's the good news there, because he's given himself a lot of fair territory with which to work. So last night, situation like this, Mike Leake was up. Take the bunt, pull the bat back. That'll put your boy base hit the left field. Think they'll give Homer the same option to do that?
One ball and 2 strikes.
I'll tell you one thing. When you're a pitcher up there and you're set up the bunt and you miss the first 2 and you've got an 0-2 count, this is about as nervous as you get all night long, because the last thing you want to do is strike out, drag that bat back to the dugout, and have that guy watch you every step of the way. Not fun at all.
1-2. Burnett coming to Bailey, and they let him swing away, and he fouls it off to the first base side. Bailey not nearly the hitter that Mike Leake is. Of course, then again, who is? From a pitcher standpoint, Leake has more hits than any other pitcher in all of baseball the last 3 years. Boy. Hey, we talked about it from time to time. You don't want to belabor it, but there is one area where this team has been so poor in execution, and that is when they are asked to bunt. Outside of Johnny Cueto, it has not been pretty. And more times than not, you get to the postseason, that could mean the difference between winning and losing a game.
Well, I mean, even if you're just looking to get another win in your own win column, and you don't get that runner over in the scoring position, and one of the next couple of guys gets a base hit, you've got nobody to blame but yourself. And wins these days translate into a lot of money per. So if you break it down like that, you can say, well, just an extra sacrifice bunt per month could cha-ching into your bank account. If you want to break it down that way. Guys don't do that, but up here we do.
1-0 on Brandon Phillips. He bounced out to Holt. His first time up.
Boy, you throw that slider right on that spot right there, and Burnett's been able to do that for the most part against the Reds this year. There's not a whole lot anybody's going to do with that pitch.
Of course, there have been some trying times and trying moments between these two teams over the last couple of series in which they have played. That one banged into center field by Phillips. And had Bailey gotten down the bunt, it might be 1-0 Cincinnati right now. Instead, it's first and second with 1 out in the inning. And Wilson Valdez coming up.
Yeah, both hits in the inning, almost identical, right back through the box. And you see the way Burnett kind of falls off, and a lot of power pitchers do. I mean, the guy throws in mid-90s, so he uses his legs a lot. You're not going to see him square up like a lot of soft tossers will. So go through the middle, pick up another base hit. And you're right about that missed opportunity. I guarantee you there's one guy, maybe two in that dugout, thinking the same thing that you just said. If Bailey gets the bunt down, one of them Bailey and the other one Baker.
Well, the kind of year that Burnett is having, putting together 3 or 4 hits in an inning, have been rare indeed against him this season, and that's what the Reds are going to have to do if they're going to score here in the bottom of the 3rd. Wilson Valdez down strike 1. Cardinals have tied San Diego 2 apiece. Padres bat last in the 6th inning. Reds going into play tonight a whopping 10.5 better than the St. Louis Cardinals in the National League Central. And the Cardinals are trying to hang on in the wild card. A 1-game lead over the Dodgers, who were shut out in Arizona last night. They'll play again tonight. 2.5 better than these Pirates. We mentioned earlier, Philadelphia's won already. To pick up a half game, 3.5 back. Milwaukee and Atlanta will tee them up shortly at Miller Park. And the Brewers could be 3 back by night's end. One to Valdez. Takes a breaking ball away. 2-1. You get a look at Gabi Sanchez over there at first. Well, now he's starting to back up a little bit. But Sanchez has seen Valdez push that bunt to the right side to try and get a base hit. From time to time, the last couple of years, both of them playing in the National League East. Adding in the runner at second, Phillips at first. And both runners will advance as that one gets away from Barajas.
Boy, pitching awfully carefully to Wilson Valdez with Joey Votto on deck.
It's a big pitch coming up right here for Valdez.
Oh, you're right. I mean, also for Burnett, this batter right here, if he's able to get Valdez out, then you're able to go ahead and pitch around Joey Votto if you wanted to do that, and then go after the right-hander Ryan Ludwig. Valdez a key to this inning here for the Reds.
And he will bring in a run. Putting the bat on the ball. Plating Hannigan from third after the wild pitch. And the Reds jump in front of Burnett and the Pirates. 1-0 here in the bottom of the 3rd inning.
Well, the infield playing back. All you've got to do is get it on the ground to somebody other than the pitcher or the third baseman. You got yourself a ribby. Remember the Reds when they score first, 53-25. That's what a good bullpen will do for you.
So now Votto, who singled into left field his first time up, has Phillips at third with 2 away.
He's done that a couple of times to Votto in 2 at-bats. Tried to straighten him up a little bit. Votto hit a breaking ball sharply to left field for a base hit his last time up. Not easily intimidated.
Very nice breaking ball right there. Drops in at the knees. A strike.
Just good arm action.
One and one on Votto. Came back with another breaking ball.
You know, with a guy like A.J. Burnett, that breaking ball's got to be more than just the break of the pitch. Just must be hard to pick up. I mean, the same arm slot as a fastball, just the way the hitters react to it.
One ball and 2 strikes on Joey. And then came back in 94. And Votto able to foul it off.
You know, the whole idea about hitting is trying to get the ball to hit the barrel of the bat, hit the sweet spot. And in order to do that, you need good bat control. Now, Votto has about as good a bat control as anybody on this ball club, but he is still the only guy on this ball club that I see who consistently, when he gets 2 strikes on him, chokes up. Look where he is on that bat right there. Early in the count, he's down on the knob. Now he's up because he wants to be able to be a little tougher out. Get that barrel around on a fastball if he has to. Like right there. I still can't figure out why more hitters, not just on the Reds, but throughout baseball, don't do that more.
All I know is the last 2 left-handed batters over the last 15 or 20 years that choke up on the bat like that. One's named Votto and the other one's name is Bonds.
Yeah. I mean, he's really choking up now.
Yeah. Votto thought that pitch was up. Strike 3 will end the inning, but the Reds get a couple of hits, take advantage of a wild pitch and a ground out to take a 1-0 lead. Live, presented by Ray St. Clair Roofing on Fox Sports Ohio. Chris Welsh will have all the answers you're looking for leading up to the game Friday night. Brand new Marlins Park down in Miami. Let's take a look at our AT&T trivia question for tonight. Who's the highest drafted player on the Reds roster? It's a good question. Some of you might be wondering, did the Reds have to draft this player? And the answer, I'm told, is no. Just the highest drafted player they have on their roster tonight. Reds 1, Pirates nothing. Andrew McCutchen looks at a first pitch fastball. Strike one. That'll find a hole in the left field, and McCutchen aboard to start the Pirate fourth. Garrett Jones, his first time up, bounced out to Joey Votto, and now back-to-back hits for the Pirates. And advancing easily first to third is McCutchen. So that 1-0 lead quite tenuous right now.
Now this middle part of the order, as far as their history against Homer Bailey, have been the ones you just saw. McCutchen, Garrett Jones, those are the guys that have hit Bailey the best. Previously, they've hit him to about a .333 batting average. So now it drops off pretty good as you get down the lineup.
Ball one inside on Gabi Sanchez. He grounded out to Brandon Phillips his first time up. And he began with a single to left by McCutchen. He goes to third on a single to center. And now it's a ball to strike on Sanchez. Barely got a piece of it. But Homer now ahead of Sanchez at 1-2 strike.
Yeah, Sanchez is kind of a big guy, and he has somewhat of a long swing. And that's why Homer, as you saw, both the strikes, or at least he's trying to come inside to him right there through that fastball right by him. The aim for the pitcher when you're trying to come in like that is right underneath his hands or right underneath his elbows as he sets up. And you aim in like that so that you don't leave it back out over the plate. Right underneath those elbows is your spot. Now you got to go upstairs now.
Look out. Man. That came in hot just above the Reds dugout, and thankfully it went right into one of the stairs on one of the open walkways. Challenged him again with a fastball up in a strike zone, and Sanchez able to hang around, fouling it off. It remains a ball and 2 strikes. Runners on the corners, none out. Pirates batting in the 4th inning. Try to get him to chase that breaking ball, and Sanchez does not do it. Two pitch. In the air down the left field line. Ludwig over near the stands, and that ball is foul. Plenty enough to have left a yard at it stayed fair.
Well, Sanchez really shortened his swing up on that one. He looked like he was tied up early in the at bat, but he's made the adjustment, figuring maybe later on in this at bat Homer Bailey's coming inside, and that's how far that baby was foul from being a 3-run bomb.
Looked like Dad made the play down there, and his little boy is pretty excited. Homer Bailey excited too. The dad was able to make that play in foul ground. 2-2 again. 3 straight hits off Bailey to begin the inning, and we're tied at 1. Quite an at bat there by Sanchez.
He's one of those players, and the University of Miami and Coral Gables has had a whole list of those that have come out of there really almost major league ready to hit. Lately, Yonder Alonso, John Jay, Gabby Sanchez,
Yasmani Grandal.
Yep.
I still think that Sanchez deal is going to turn out to be a good deal for the Pirates. I mean, he had a very nice rookie year last year, and of course Major League Baseball has been littered with guys that had a good rookie year, then you never heard from him again. Also littered with guys who had a very good first year, a bad second year, and then got it together again down the road.
Yeah.
Every time we see this guy, it looks like a pretty good hitter to me.
What's the downside to it?
No doubt.
Yeah. And that's the kind of deals that the Pirates have tried to make, keeping the payroll very low, that hope that they can, bottom feed a little bit and get somebody whose value is at that time very low and ride them to the upside.
So now is Presley up there to bunt. Yeah, Barmas due up next. 3 straight hits here in the inning. No sign of a bunt on a first pitch strike.
Well, Barmas is hitting .222. He was pinch hit for last night after getting 2 hits in his first 2 at bats. Then you got Barajas hitting a $190 something, and then with the pitcher. So why would you bunt him over for those guys?
Well, the only reason I'm thinking is Barmas is a guy that generally does put the bat on the ball, and the way Burnett has pitched this year, especially against the Reds, I mean, you give him a 1-run lead. This looks to be the kind of guy, and he certainly has been the kind of pitcher all year long, where games are played pretty tight and close to the vest. Presley walked his first time up behind Hero at 2. So far tonight, Homer just doesn't have that put away pitch on 2 strikes. Hits by McCutchen, Jones, and Sanchez, producing the tying run to start this Pirates 4th inning after the Reds got on the board in the bottom of the 3rd. Got him to go around, and that's strike 3.
Well, that has been his put-away pitch. He did the same thing to Clint Barmes in the second inning. Come with that high fastball, throwing it right by him. So you wonder if in this at-bat, the one following the strikeout of Alex Presley, that's the same strategy that Homer Bailey used here on Clint Barmes.
A 2-on, 1 out, and Barmes takes low and in for ball 1. No sooner did the Cardinals tie the Padres at 2 in the 6th. San Diego in the 7th inning recaptures a lead. In front by a run, they're now in the 7th.
That's one of those odd start times that you were talking about in San Diego last night.
And really the Cardinals beneficiaries of it today because they don't have to travel to the East Coast. Otherwise it's like taking a red-eye flight. But they're going down to Los Angeles on a bus tonight, or up to Los Angeles, and open a 4-game series against the Dodgers tomorrow. One game, 2-on, 1 out, 2 balls and a strike on Barmes. And almost hit it. Bailey falls behind Barmes, 3-1. And a pitch. Breaking ball at a 3-1 count in there, called strike. In the air, foul territory, and off the top of the dugout, out of play. Still 3-2.
Now this is one area where Homer Bailey has had marked improvement here in 2012. When he gets into trouble in an inning, it used to be that we'd see those innings just blow up on him. His damage control has been a whole lot better this year. I think that just comes with maturity.
It's a big pitch right here with 1 out and 2 on. Check swing back to the mound. He'll get a second out. Both runners advancing, Jones and Sanchez. This is a situation we've talked about frequently over the course of a very long baseball season. Now some managers make the decision, I am not going to allow an 8-hole hitter, I don't care if he's hitting a $190. I'm not going to let him knock in with 2 outs what could turn out to be the winning run.
Or I'm not even going to let my pitcher try to pitch around him lest he make a mistake and that 8-hole hitter jumps all over that one mistake pitch. So you just take the bat right out of his hands and the decision making away from the pitcher. And you go after Burnett.
So they are loaded for Burnett. Burnett only has 3 hits in 57 at-bats the entire year. Make that 3 hits in 53 at-bats. I beg your pardon. 0 for 1 tonight. Burnett does have 1 RBI.
Well, he's got 3 home runs in his career, but most of the offensive damage that he did was way back in the first couple of years as a major leaguer when he was a Florida Marlin.
And 2 on A.J. Burnett. Able to foul it away. Pirates have them loaded. They've tied the game here in the 4th. Bailey has thrown 31 pitches so far in this inning. Burnett is the 7th batter he's faced in the inning, and that'll be the final out of the inning. Pirates tie it after 3.5 a 1-1 game. Food Group, creating great dishes together with the food service industry for over 30 years. By your Cincinnati and Northern Kentucky Toyota dealer. Visit buyatoyota.com. Largest 4G network, AT&T Rethink Possible. One run, 4 hits, 5 men left on base for the Pirates. 1 run, 3 hits, 2 left on base for the Reds. A.J. Burnett has given the Reds fits this season. ERA barely over 2 runs per 9 innings. And a sparkling 3-0 record.
Well, over the last 4 ball games, he's not won any of them. He's 0-2 over that span. Last time he took them out, it was against the Cubs, and his teammates behind him made 7 errors. He ended up giving up 7 runs in that ball game. Only 3 of those were earned in just 5+ innings. As we said a couple of times already in this series, this is a desperate ball club. There are just trying to get something going, and the Reds hope to get the broom out tonight and sweep them on out of town.
They will be traveling to Chicago. They have an off day tomorrow, their last off day of the season. And then they play, especially this time of year, it's odd to begin with, but especially in September. They will play a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday night series at Wrigley Field. Ryan Ludwig to begin things against Burnett. The breaking ball is in there, a strike.
Boy, that's just not a get-ahead breaking ball either. I mean, he is laying that baby on the black, on the knees.
Burnett already 5 punch-outs in the game tonight. 1-1 to Ludwig. They got Ryan swinging, ending the first. They have left that one out over the plate a little bit, and Ludwig fouled it off. One-two on Ryan. And another breaking ball, and this one is well outside. Count even at 2-2. Bruce to follow, and then Scott Rowland.
You know, Burnett stuff, in the age of pitchers adding cutters and things like this to their repertoire, he's the throwback. He's the old-fashioned sinker slider guy. 60% sliders, 60% fastballs, all sinkers, 33% sliders, and an occasional changeup here, 6 or 7% of those. I mean, 25 years ago, that was about 75% of every right-handed pitcher out there fit through the same way. They sinker you and slider you to death.
Three-two delivery, and it's a walk. That's an excellent at bat by Ludwig. Fell behind in the count. 2 strikes right away. Fouled off a few pitches, took some close ones, and entices a walk. And right now at FoxSportsOhio.com. Find out what Marvin Lewis had to say when he met the media leading up to the game this weekend against Cleveland. And submit your questions on the UC page at FoxSportsOhio.com. And perhaps Butch Jones will answer your question Thursday night during the Bearcats Sports Weekly with Coach Jones. One to Jay Bruce. He fly to center his first time up. He didn't miss it by much. Got a little off the end of the bat, and it still carried all the way to the warning track. There's that breaking ball again, and that's good morning, good afternoon, and good night for Bruce, who has been hitless in this series.
Like that may have been the changeup right there. I don't really can guarantee that, but he keeps it down very nicely. No, that's a breaking ball. You're right about that. Anything in the low 80s is that slider slash curveball, whatever you want to classify it as. He's hardly thrown any changeups at all.
Well, he's only allowed 3 base hits, and really the Reds were only able to score because of a Burnett wild pitch. Reds had runners at first and second with 1 out and Wilson Valdez at the plate. The wild pitch allowed the runners to advance, and then a ground out by Valdez brought in the Reds' only run. Burnett has 6 strikeouts in the game.
Well, one of them was Scott Rowland, and that's not unusual, really. Rowland versus Burnett. This is Scott Rowland's worst nightmare, A.J. Burnett, over the course of his career. That's what I'm talking about. 3 for 26. Updated for the earlier at bat in the second inning.
But knowing Rowland, he's probably saying to himself, I reckon it's about time to change that right now.
That's exactly right.
One and 0 on Scott Rowland. And now rolling ahead of Burnett at 2 balls and no strikes. Two-0 fastball, and Rowland waves right through it.
Just amazing what you can do as a pitcher when you throw in the low 90s and can control your fastball. Now, he's got a lot of movement on that fastball, but he's able to spot that baby to right-handers down and away consistently.
You know, you watch Burnett pitch this year and you wonder what in the world happened the last couple of years with the Yankees. 2-1 pitch, they start the runner and it's fouled away. I mean, they couldn't run him out of town fast enough. Brought him in after that monster year he had in 2008 with Toronto, where he won a career high 18 games. And while he did get wins on a team obviously that could knock the cover off the ball, he wasn't the same guy.
No, his earned run average with the Yankees the second year was over 5. There you see the numbers right there. Of course, 2012, that is all with the Pittsburgh Pirates. So he makes the argument more than anybody. But if you take a pitcher out of that American League East, where they have to every 5 days you're pitching against a real quality team under intense pressure, like a Red Sox Yankees rivalry, playing against the Orioles who can hit, the Tampa Bay Rays, and so on. And then you put them in another division, they're automatically going to be better just by showing up, not having to pitch that Yankee Red Sox series.
Start the runner. Barmes able to get to it, and his throw is in time. What a play by Barmes. Well, you can't do it much better than that.
Well, they had coverage on with the runner on the move. The shortstop was covering the bag. That's why Barmes had to stop, change direction, throw off balance. Well, what a play. They were in the wrong place at the wrong time last night. A couple of times, the infielders. Saw Barmas try to chase one down off of the bat of Brandon Phillips. That turned out to be an infield double. Went off his arm in the shallow left field. Set up that 3-run inning for the Reds as they scored on that ball that got by the catcher and then almost into the camera well.
Now Heisey with a chance to break this 1-1 tie, and he looks at a fastball right down the can. Strike one. Well, Burnett not fooling around here with Heisey. He's coming right after him with fastballs and gets ahead 0-2. Got to wonder if Heisey would see another one of those.
He's probably wondering the same thing.
Barajas hanging his signs, and now the 0-2 pitch. Boy, that's a nice pitch. And the inning is over. That's 7 punch outs for Burnett. 1-1 game. We go to the 5th.
Price with the purchase of one full price ticket in the same section. Gotta hurry. Only one Sunday home game left. Don't miss out. The offer is available in advance of game day only. Some restrictions apply. Visit reds.com/family for more details. Jim Day with you, and we're trying to name the howls that you've heard the last couple nights at Great American Ballpark, and we're inviting your responses via Twitter. Use the hashtag RedsLive, and we got some early responses to show you. Carla writes in and names it the Chapman Choir. Cincy Holler is one that was sent in to us. The Red Wolf Call and the Rally Howl. We'll continue to take those on Twitter. Again, hashtag RedsLive, and on Friday night we'll have a text poll with the best ones. And guys, I found one humorous on Twitter where they named it the Thurston Howl, but that probably won't fit.
That is pretty good.
Funny nonetheless.
Yes, from Gilligan's Island fame,
yes.
right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Thurston Howl the Third.
Top of the order against Homer Bailey in a 1-1 game here in the 5th, and there's ball 1 low and away. We've already heard a few of them tonight.
There's one right there.
Yep.
You know, you'd almost like to see it come rather than just spontaneous at any time through the ball game at maybe a right time. Like maybe it's a rally cry of some kind. The other team brings a closer in, or they make a big pitching change, and that's when you hear the howl or the yowl or whatever you want to call that. You call it the rally yowl.
Yeah, you know, I mean, I was thinking about that today, and the only thing is, you're right. I mean, I see that side. The only thing is that, you know, if you box yourself into a situation where that situation never comes, and then you're not doing it. You know what I mean?
Well, true. I mean,
all of a sudden you decide, okay, we're going to do it every time we lead in the 8th inning, or every time we're down in the 7th inning. Well, then you might go 3 or 4 games in a row, and you never have it.
Well, there is such thing as overexposure.
I don't know. I mean, we're on a limited time frame here now. We only got one more homestand left, and then hopefully October. And we'll see. I know those fans that have been doing it the last couple of nights have had a good time.
Especially that one red-haired dude.
You know, he's almost become the face of this rally cry. That one is lined right at Phillips. We got to find out who this guy is. He's been here the last couple of nights while that's been going on. We'll have to check out to see if he's here again tonight a little bit later. Oh, he is here tonight. We got to find out his name. Because the other night when we first heard it, it just so happened that was a camera shot that was taken, and he belted it out as we were just starting to talk about it. And we've seen him now with 3 nights in a row. Oh, and 2 on Josh Harrison. Are you going to make a name suggestion at all for that?
Well, mine, I just did, and mine, you kind of blew it off. So maybe I don't want to repeat it.
I did not blow it off. I was more focused
rally
on
yowl.
Okay. A rally yowl.
Now you could even spell it like towel, but with a Y.
Ooh.
You could have rally yowls here.
Nice. Well, then a perfect time would be in the bottom of the 5th inning here. 1-1 game. Get it cranked up early.
Yeah.
Oh, and 2 the count. Rolled over foul.
How about you?
You know,
ideas?
I don't. Not yet. Not yet. I'm gonna give it through the weekend and give it a little thought.
Now, does the new dog that you have,
yes.
6-year-old pup that you rescued, does that dog by any chance howl? Could you be in the backyard this weekend maybe thinking while he howls, maybe get the creative juices flowing?
That's what I'm thinking. Popped up right back to the mound.
Your neighbors will love it.
We have, you know, I mean, I could just say to her, speak, and she'll start, you know.
Hi, Mr. Brennan.
She'll start talking back. So I may stay up all hours of the night tonight doing that. I'm sure my wife and kids would be thrilled if I kept chanting over and over, speak. And then,
when are you going to finally take me for a walk?
That would really be something. 2 down. And McCutchen, who started that scoring rally in the 4th inning to tie this game at 1 with a single on the left, scored their only run. That's with 2 down and nobody on. Beyond the reach of Roland, and a base hit with 2 outs by Andrew McCutchen keeps the inning alive for Garrett Jones. Sounded like a broken bat hitting it off the end of the bat.
Yeah, I think it was. It was off the end of the bat. I mean, you can see where that pitch was, outer third. But he's got pretty good plate coverage. Now, he's stolen 16. He's been thrown out, 11 times. This might be one of those situations where you take a shot at stealing a base. Put yourself in a scoring position for a guy that hits Homer Bailey fairly well.
Jones is grounded out and singled into center field. And it's ball one low.
Of course, when you steal with a runner at first base, a left-handed hitter up, you eliminate that hole on the right side of the infield that Garrett Jones oftentimes hits. In fact, that's where his base hit was his first time up, right through this area here.
Good rip at that fastball, and it's 1-1 to Garrett Jones. Bailey had that extended fourth inning. And this next pitch will be his 50th pitch over the last inning and 2/3. It's a lot of pitches. And here we are in the 5th, and Homer has 85 on the 9th.
Well, if you wiggle out of those jams, though, it really doesn't matter how many pitches you throw. Better to be in the game in the 6th inning with 100 pitches under your belt than in the shower in the 4th, having only thrown 50.
One on Garrett Jones, and a fastball stays high. Two balls and a strike, and the runner takes off. Got a big time jump, and Jones rolls over at foul on the first base side. The Cardinals have just been swept. A 3-game series in San Diego for the first time since August of 1995. That is now a final. 3-2 San Diego.
Well, I guess the rhetorical question is, does anybody want to win this wild card other than the Milwaukee Brewers and the Philadelphia Phillies?
You're right.
Man,
you are 100% correct.
Shaping up to be a pretty cool last couple of weeks of the season.
High fly ball, right center field. Heisey at the track, inning over. But hit a man left, middle of the 5th, still a 1-1 game.
Valley Conference. The Knights from Kings head to Turpin to battle the Spartans. The Kings ended Turpin's season in the playoffs last year, and the Spartans are looking for a little revenge. That is Thursday night, 7 o'clock tomorrow, right here on Fox Sports Ohio.
Pains me to say Turpin being the arch rival of my alma mater, Anderson, but Turpin among the best teams, if not the best Division II team in the state of Ohio.
Fun time of year.
Really is. To answer our trivia question, the highest drafted player on the Reds roster. Who is it? 7th pick, 2004. Homer Bailey out of LaGrange, Texas. Stubbs an 8th pick, likewise for Leak out of Arizona State. Jay Bruce a high schooler, so too is Devin Mesoraco. And again a 2-hopper at the shortstop. Barmas, who throws him out on the first pitch here in the bottom of the 5th inning of a 1-1 game.
Well, Hannigan didn't even stay around long enough for us to mention that he wasn't even drafted. Signed out of a Reds tryout camp.
Bailey could not put down a sacrifice his first time up. Reds wound up scoring in the inning thanks in large part to a wild pitch thrown by Burnett. Reds had runners at first and second if you're just tuning in, with 1 out in the inning. And a wild pitch advance of runners, and a Wilson Valdez ground out to second base scored their lone run. Breaking ball off the outside corner, and how about that? A.J. Burnett issues a 1-out walk to the pitcher in a 1-1 game.
Well, what that does for Brandon Phillips, that it opens up the right side. You can now have to hold Homer Bailey on, even if it's a step or two off the bag. We'll see how Gabby Sanchez decides to play it. But you still have a lot more room on the right side here for Brandon Phillips, who likes to hit the ball that way, especially more so recently with that runner on. So
well, Brandon Knight is grounded to second. He had that single in the center field Chris mentioned, and wound up being stranded at third when the 3rd inning came to an end. Jamie Ramsey in the Reds media relations department. Of course, he is the author of an unbelievably successful blog, Better Off Red. Reminds us today, among many things, that every time Brandon Phillips has hit a home run in a game this year, and you touched on it earlier, the Reds win. Would you say 16-0?
Yeah.
Now, I understand Jamie Ramsey is going to be taking pictures of himself in some way, shape, or form around the number of the magic number as it begins to whittle down. And a picture of when he was standing with Sparky Anderson when the number 10 was retired on his blog today. Great idea.
Creative guy.
Very creative.
I didn't read his blog today, though, but I wonder if it happened to mention that today, very special day, a birthday of one Tom Brenneman. Happy birthday, big boy.
Thank you very much. Been a great day. Great day. Kids walked home from school lunchtime today. Had a little lunch, hung out.
You were served a nice birthday cake by Abby and Denise and company in the Reds media dining room.
They're the best. The best. 2-1 on Brandon Phillips, and that one is hit down the right field line. That is a foul ball. You know, and I'd like to mention, by the way, you mentioned the trio of Abby,
Gwen, Denise.
Well, Denise, and Gwen is in the hospital tonight. And she's over Good Sam. Apparently everything's going to be all right. Thoughts and prayers are with her, but Gwen Spikes over there tonight. And Gwen, we're thinking about you, saying a prayer for you, and we can't wait to have you back on the next homestand.
We miss you, Gwen.
We sure do. She is quite a lady. All of them back there are. Even the guys, too. Big Allen, Veda, and some of the guys who work in the kitchen here at the ballpark. 2-2 to count. Just blew him away with tailing gas. Boy, the strikeouts piling up tonight. That's 8 of them now for A.J. Burnett.
And that's just great placement right there. After you set that fastball up as being able to hit that outside corner, and he was able to do that against Brandon Phillips first time up. You know, it's hard to lay off that pitch.
Just low on Wilson Valdez, who knocked in the only Reds run on a ground out. That came in the 3rd inning. Pirates tied the game in the next half inning. And this will keep the inning alive for Joey Votto. That one fumbled out there in right, and now Homer Bailey taking off for 3rd, and he will make it. That'll be a single and then an error charge to Garrett Jones.
Well, he gets his hits, it seems like, Valdez, when he gets a chance to play. That's an inexcusable error. I mean, Homer Bailey's going nowhere. So why wouldn't you just get down on one knee, block the ball, make sure it goes into your glove, and keep the runner at second base? Boy, now you're a wild pitch away from pushing the go-ahead run in. Burnett has 8 of them this year, and he had 25 of them last year. Led the league in that category when he was at the Yankees.
All right, let's see if Votto can get the job done. 1 of 2 in the game. Single to left field in the 1st inning. Was called out on strikes. Ending the 3rd. Votto has yet to drive in a run since his return from the knee surgery. He has 1 extra base hit. That was a double. But looking for his first RBI.
Well, last time, you may remember how he went after Joey Votto. He got a couple of back-to-back breaking balls in there for strikes. Eventually struck Votto out on a high inside fastball. I think Votto in this at bat, at least from the looks of it early on, is looking for that breaking ball here from Burnett.
Fastball there off the inside corner. 2 balls and a strike to Joey Votto.
So notice where Votto's holding the bat now. He's choked up a little bit. The last time with 2 strikes, I mean, he was a good 4 inches choking up. He's had all fastballs.
Diving play made by Holt. And he'll take away a hit. And an RBI for Joey Votto. Red strand 2, end of 5, still a 1-1 affair. September the 27th at Great American Ballpark. That'll be the final home game of the year. Reds and the Brewers. Buy a $15 view level ticket and you get $10 in concession credits with that ticket. Reds and the Brewers. Home finale. September 27th. 381 Reds or visit Reds.com. Some restrictions to apply there. Well, the sort of game we expected. Homer Bailey getting together with A.J. Burnett. And it's a 1-1 count at the end of 5. Reds scored their only run in the 3rd. Pirates in the top of the 4th. And now to be Gaby Sanchez, Alex Presley, and Clint Barmas against Homer in the 6th. Bailey is one of those guys so far this year where you certainly have to ask the question, is the home ballpark beginning to get between his ears a little bit? He's only allowed 24 home runs. 19 of the 24 have come at Great American Ballpark, if not the most, among the most homer-friendly ballparks in all of baseball. The earned run average significantly different at home as opposed to being on the road. That's why when you talk a lot about the playoffs and a potential postseason opening on the road for the Reds, there's someone made the argument that perhaps Bailey would be among the top 2 in your pitchers if you're playing on the road.
Yeah, you wonder though, Tom, will that decision be made based on home and away record, or will it be based on who the Reds are actually going to play? And you may not know that until the day before you play them. I mean, there are certain playoff scenarios that have those teams that either tie or are right there at the very end, all tied up for the wild card lead, that would play game 163 and then game 164 and then play the play-in game. All the while the Reds are kind of sitting around wondering where they're going to go the next day to play a baseball game.
Boy, some of the scenarios are they are so very, very interesting. And I don't think, based on what we've seen over the last few days and where we might be going here over the next 2.5 weeks, if we don't have 163rd and 164th game before we even get to who's going to be in the playoffs. I mean, remember, Major League Baseball a year ago changed from that format where it used to be if they knew 2 teams were going to the playoffs, if they tied for a divisional championship, they used a head-to-head record. But if you start getting into a 3-way tie, then division champions or the head-to-head record comes into play, and they get to make a decision on whether they want to sit back and watch a game and then go play on the road or play 2 games at home. I mean, it's potentially chaos.
Well, I think the rolling of the dice that MLB did was to try to infuse excitement in the last couple of weeks of the season in exchange for maybe chaos right before the playoffs.
Slow roller. And Phillips throws out Sanchez. A lot of people wondered when this was being first announced. And saying that, this is going to take away the 1-game playoff kind of feel. And, really on average, I think I read somewhere, what is it, once every 18 years you've had basically on average that 1-game playoff to determine a divisional champion or who would be the wild card. Now, we've gone down to the final weekend of the season a number of times. But when you're talking about a 1-game in addition to a 162-game schedule, it's pretty rare.
Yeah.
Now you're guaranteed to have that. But you also could have additional games even in front of that. I don't know, Chris, how you can make it any more exciting, though. I mean, this is exactly what you wanted when the owner sat down and voted in a second wild card team. You've got over 15 cities. Make an argument now, 17. That feel like they are very much still in the playoff hunt with a little more than 2 weeks to go. You take a longer look at it, you've got more than half the teams right now in Major League Baseball, more than half, with a little more than 2 weeks to go in the season, that are, it's not even unreasonable to think they couldn't be in the playoffs. You have these 2 teams stay in the National League. You've got the Giants, the Dodgers, the Diamondbacks are 5 out of the wild card now. Washington, Philadelphia now a chance to be within 3 of the wild card. That one is pulled fair up the right field line. And Alex Presley turning on the motor. He's on his way to third and will easily slide in there safely. Man, that guy can run.
Well, you're right about him turning on the motor. I mean, he got out of the box very quickly when he ripped that ball right by Joey Votto. But when he neared second base is when he made his decision. He was going for third, whether that ball was coming right back into the hands of Jay Bruce or not. Well, that big-time speed right there is a huge difference between getting there at second base and putting yourself on third with just 1 out. That's a go-ahead run 90 feet away. Got to bring the infield in. Look for a strikeout here.
Well, he got Barmes on strikes his first time up. Then he hit a little roller out in front of the plate. Bailey threw him out in the 4th inning. Bailey out of the regular windup. That's a gorgeous first pitch fastball, 94 inside corner.
Yeah, this is the spot where a pitching coach or manager will say, I don't care whether you go from the full windup or the stretch, wherever you are most comfortable, wherever you can deliver the best quality pitches. And for most guys, it's full windup.
Go ahead, run at third. We're in the 6th inning with 1 out. Here comes the squeeze, and it's handled by Hannigan, and he's out at the plate. Yes, he got it. What a play by Hannigan. It looked like momentarily he lost the handle, Chris Welsh, and man, he found it just in the nick of time.
Boy, is this guy money behind the play or what? Here comes the runner. It's a pitch out, but he's able to recover in time. The Reds sniff something out. You know, it's kind of uncanny. I'm not sure whether it's Chris Spire or somebody else over there, or whether they're just playing a hunch. But it looked like they had the hit and run sign of the Houston Astros a couple of times in that series. And obviously they sniffed something out there against the Pirates right here. Big play. There's Chris Spire.
That's a guy who
well, what a heady player he was.
I got to believe this guy's got to start getting a number of interviews for a managerial job. I mean, you played against him.
I played with him, actually, with the Montreal Expos, and then against him a lot when he was with San Francisco and Montreal. A heady player. Well, that's got to feel so good. If you're the bench coach and you call that pitch out at the right time, and it worked. Pirates got to be thinking they can't do anything right in this series.
Spire played over 2 decades in the major leagues. And his best years up with you there in Montreal and primarily in San Francisco for a long, long time. In fact, he was on their all-time San Francisco Giants team as voted by the fans. Had coaching stops under Bob Brenly in Arizona. Dusty Baker in Chicago, and now Dusty here with the Reds.
You know what you see early in the ball, every time the Reds go to a ballpark, whether it's here or especially on the road, the other team hits early on the road. And Chris Spire is the only guy who every day when they take their batting practice is standing outside the Reds dugout watching the other team's batting practice. A lot of times you can't tell who these guys are because nowadays they wear jackets. This is way before the gates open. I'm talking about 3:30, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. That guy watches just hours and hours and hours, just always trying to pick something out here or there, whatever it may be.
In the air center field, so Bailey pitches around the 1-out triple. Pirates try to squeeze their way to the lead and can't do it. It's Fan Appreciation Day presented by Walgreens. Don't forget now, that is a night game. It's been changed to 8:05. Great giveaways to so many lucky fans. So come on down. 3-1 Reds, or visit Reds.com. Reds and the Dodgers on a Sunday night, September the 23rd. Ryan Ludwig will lead things off. He has struck out and drawn a walk in the game tonight. Reds have 4 hits. A.J. Burnett has walked 2. He has struck out 8. First pitch breaking ball. 1-0. Some of those games we've been keeping an eye on over in the American League. White Sox in the 4th leading Detroit 1-0. White Sox a 2-game lead in the Central over Detroit. Yankees in Baltimore tied in the American League East. Yankees are winning. Tampa Bay tied with the Orioles. Burnett wanted that call and didn't get it from Manny Gonzalez. Greg Gibson down at first. Phil Cuzzy at second base. Jerry Davis is the crew chief at third. Reds trying to take down A.J. Burnett for the first time this year. 3-0 against him. And pitching tonight pretty much like he has every time. Breaking ball rolled over foul. Still 2-2 on Ludwig. Burnett taking a long time to square away the sign with Barajas. And he tried to get him to chase that fastball up. They appealed and nothing doing, says Gibson. Full count. That ball is hammered down to left field line. This will be extra bases for Ludwig. And he is at second base, representing the go-ahead run with a leadoff double.
The third time in 6 innings that the Reds have had the leadoff runner on. First time, however, they've been able to get that runner to second base with nobody out. Nice sweeping swing right there by Ryan Ludwig. Boy, did he keep his head down in that swing.
Well, I like Todd Frazier. Ludwig has gone through a bit of a lull here of late. That's only his second extra base hit in almost a month. Of course, he was getting 2 or 3 of them every night.
I mean, yeah, you're due for a regression at some point.
Yep. Well, they're hoping Jay Bruce can break out of this mini slump. I mean, you couldn't get him out 3 days ago. And he's still in search of his first hit in this series. He is flying to center. and struck out. But a chance to break this 1-1 tie right here and right now for the Reds right fielder. Backing up McCutcheon again. This will not leave the yard, but it's plenty deep enough to advance Ludwig on to third. So an out, but a productive out for Jay Bruce.
You know, Tom, even the casual observer can tell that this ballpark plays completely different. When it's hot outside, 95 degrees, the ball just jumps. And in his at-bat, Jay Bruce will get one. Gets a first pitch changeup right there from A.J. Burnett. And a breaking ball in the outer part of the plate, or a Mazda pitch by pitch. And a long fly ball to dead center field is able to move that runner up. So a good job by Bruce. And we showed you exactly how he did it to negotiate that against A.J. Burnett. But I mean, back in July 15th, when it's 95 degrees during the day, and it doesn't really cool down much at night, that ball's off the glass of that batter's eye.
So now the infield in. And Rolen looks at a first pitch strike.
Well, if you're A.J. Burnett, you couldn't probably ask for a better guy to be up here other than the pitcher than Scott Rolen right now, based on what he's done for him in his career. We showed you a 115 batting average against. But Rolen doesn't need a base hit. Just something into the outfield here.
Fastball low and in. Rolen struck out looking on a pitch he disagreed with the umpire on back in the second inning, and then they put the hit and run on with the runner at first, and Rolen hit a ball that would have been a routine ground ball to short, but it turned into a great play by Barmes, as he had to come back the other way to get it. Fly ball into plenty deep enough left field to bring in the run. So Rolen able to get the bat on the ball, get it to the outfield indeed, and a 2-1 Reds lead.
Nice example, a little small ball right there by the Reds. Leadoff double, productive at bat by Bruce. Simple fly ball down the line, deep enough to get Ludwig in. It's a formula that's worked a lot this year.
So 2 down in the inning, and the Reds have their second lead of the night. Izzy, a high chopper to Barmes, and the inning is over. A double, a fly ball to advance a runner, a fly ball to score the runner. 2-1 Reds. Homer Bailey and A.J. Burnett in a 2-1 ball game as the Pirates come to bat after the Reds just broke the 1-1 tie. It's interesting. You look at the 6th inning for each team. Pirates get a 1-out triple. They try the squeeze play. The Reds sniffed it out, cut down the runner. Leadoff double by the Reds in the 6th inning. They only need 2 fly balls to get him in. And really, that's been the story, probably in a nutshell, Chris, I'd imagine. We talked about it last night, of why the Reds have the lead that they have over these Pirates right now. Probably a pitch here and a pitch there over a number of games.
Well, that, I think also, Tom, better defense overall. I mean, the Reds have played airtight defense for the most part all year long, and you simply can't say that about the Pirates. I don't think defensively they can hold a candle to what the Reds do out in the field. It buys you outs. It buys you pitch efficiency. Saves your bullpen. And now Homer Bailey in the 7th inning will face the bottom of the order here. We're going to pinch hit for the Barajas, huh?
Yep, Starling Marte. And the Reds have action in their bullpen for the first time tonight. Jose Arredondo. And it looks like Sam LeCure is going to get loosened up. Well, maybe not. LeCure took his jacket off there next to Porky Lopez. And LeCure coming right back into Porky's neighborhood.
Boy, he's had him under control all year long, Porky has.
It's been a mighty good group he's running down there.
Sure has. You got to figure this time of game anyway. 105 pitches for Homer, 1-run ball game. I would imagine if Homer lets a guy on base, his leash will be rather short. You got a bullpen like Dusty Baker can go to. You want to go to it to preserve these wins. I mean, the whole idea is to shorten the game. And here Homer Bailey is on the verge of that PWS we talked about last night. Probable win stat.
Got Marte on the high gas, and that's 4 strikeouts tonight for Bailey. Well, I mean, you brought it up now 2 nights in a row. Are you going to give us a little more information on what that is, or was it just as simple as what you talked about last night?
It is absolutely as simple as what I said, which is a pitcher pitching 7 innings or more. And well, I'm not the one that figured it out. I'm not that smart, but I know a good one when I steal one. And that was originally put forth by a guy named Bill Chuck, who writes a baseball website called Billy Ball.
Well, I understand we are having some technical difficulties. Literally, perhaps our wires getting crossed downstairs. I understand you at home in Reds country are seeing the video of the Pirates telecast, but you're hearing our audio, and now I'm told all is right with the world. Unless, of course, you were hoping, and maybe some of you are, that you would get the Pirates audio coming your way. Michael McHenry got the start behind the plate last night, had 1 hit in 4 at bats, scored a run. This guy's got some major league pop in that bat. Oh boy. In the air, deep right center field, and Heisey with room, and there's another ball, Chris, that you alluded to earlier. A month ago, that ball's banging off the power stacks in right center field.
Well, we've seen a few that would have been like that. I think McCutcheon hit a ball earlier. Jay Bruce hit a ball earlier that would have been out of here. But, you know, it's when you hit them and where you hit them. We talked about his short swing. He's got plenty of power, that kid does. Not enough to get out of here tonight. This is a much fairer ballpark now. I mean, almost in the summertime when it's that hot and the wind's blowing out, coming down the river from the west, and it's really helping those balls in the gaps. There's no wind tonight, unless it's blowing straight down. And ball's just not carrying.
Oh, and 1 on Brock Holt. Bailey trying to get through the 7th inning with a 1-run lead.
One Texan versus another Texan. You got to figure with a name like Brock Wyatt Holt. That guy's a Texan.
Oh, yeah. Wyatt. It's a cool name.
Especially if your last name's Earp.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Homer's real name, or full name, is David DeWitt Bailey.
That does not necessarily ring to a Texan.
No.
Does it?
No, but he is Texan through and through.
You took the words right out of my mouth. Now to 2-2. And down around his feet. Guys hit the ball right on the screws twice in 3 at-bats tonight. Once for a hit. His last time a line drive that almost knocked Brandon Phillips over. Two delivery. Bouncing ball. Phillips to the glove side on a knee and got it. Every night.
Man.
Every night it's Brandon Phillips. Talking about the Fox Sports Ohio Fan Express to Reds Country. Get your group on it. Call 765-7600. For a quick and delicious meal the whole family will enjoy, Reds fans, try JTM's beef or chicken Philly steak kits. That's JTM. So the Pirates now got to go to their bullpen. After batting for A.J. Burnett, who right now would be on the hook for the loss. And here comes Jared Hughes, and guess who up third in this inning? Brandon Phillips. Of course, that was quite a story, and in fact, for many of the Pirates, they are still not so sure that story is over. Michael McHenry, after batting a moment ago, stays in the game. those of you that weren't with us, Brandon Phillips made some pretty serious charges against Jared Hughes. And that was in the opening game on Monday night. And apparently Andrew McCutchen brokered a phone conversation between the two where everybody said, okay, it's over. And then Brandon Phillips went on television and said it's not over. And many of the Pirates in their traveling party were kind of wondering exactly what was going on.
Now, didn't he, meaning Brandon Phillips, and Jared Hughes have a phone call of which Brandon Phillips described as, we had a great conversation before I came to the stadium today? I'm quoting. It was the best thing that ever happened, talking to him in general about what happened and talking to him about things I heard and stuff. It was just great to hear what he had to say for him and to hear what I had to say. It made us feel better about the situation, end quote. So it's not over?
Well, from what I learned earlier today, apparently there was some kind of an interview which took place shortly thereafter this alleged phone conversation. More than alleged, Brandon confirming it with that quote you just had, and was asked point blank if it was over, and apparently said no. So, I mean, maybe he misunderstood the question. You always leave it to the benefit of the doubt, but it was still topic number one for a lot of folks who cover the Pirates before the game today. Nice play by McHenry to get out there and throw out Ryan Hannigan. It's going to be all for Homer Bailey. Boy, did he pitch a nice ball game here tonight. Out pitching A.J. Burnett. 7 innings, 6 hits, 1 run allowed by Bailey. Fanned 4 and walked 2 unintentionally. Needed 116 pitches to get through those 7 innings. Burnett goes 6. Allows 5 hits, 2 runs earned. It was a wild pitch which set up one of the Reds' runs, and that was their first run back in the 3rd inning when a ground out brought in their first run of the game. And here's Henry Rodriguez.
Well, if all stays the same for Homer, that'll be number 11 in the win column for him. The Reds bullpen can do their job over the next couple of innings. Nice job by Homer Bailey.
Jared Hughes has had a nice year.
Tell you what, he's a big dude. Saw him down in the field, talked to him a little bit before the ball game. I mean, talking about like 3:30 in the afternoon. I mean, large human being. They got him listed at 6'7".
We'll get back to Hopper for the second out of the inning. We remind you once more, the Ohio Lottery Powerball jackpot is worth $110 million, and the drawing again is at 11 o'clock tonight. Tell you what, I don't know what's going on in Milwaukee. They were trailing 2-0 about 5 minutes ago. And now they're ahead 7-2 over Atlanta, going for the sweep in that game. Ricky Weeks has hit 6 home runs in his last 10 games.
Well, they hit 1 tonight. He's got 3 runs batted in. They chased Paul Maholm 4 1/3, 7 runs.
Oh. They make that lead stand up. The Cardinals have already lost. They were swept in San Diego 3 in a row. That means the Philadelphia Phillies and the Milwaukee Brewers will be 3 games out of the wild card at the end of the night. 0-2 on Brandon. Breaking ball away. Two and two.
Well, if you just go by strength of schedule here on out, and that Milwaukee Brewer team continues to play well, they finish the season after the Reds go in there for 3, but they finish the season last 6 games: Astros at home in Milwaukee and Padres in Milwaukee. But they do have 4 games left in Washington, and they go on the road to play the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Check swing roller by the mound. Charging Vargas. Bare hands throws. Pulls Sanchez off the bag. That'll probably be an infield hit. Certainly be an infield hit for Phillips.
Boy, he's had a good series, Brandon Phillips has. He single-handedly dismantled this Pirate team last night. I want to correct myself. The Brewers come here. Reds do not go back to
that's
Milwaukee.
what you said.
Yeah, well, if I hadn't said it.
Yeah, they'll be here for the final 3 home games the Reds will play this season. 25th, 26th, and 27th of September, after a weekend at home in front of that against the Dodgers. Runner taken off. Throw the dirt into center field. And Brandon thought about advancing. McCutchen got to it quickly.
You know, this is the time you want to stone on base. I mean, there are guys that you don't see it as much anymore. They just run just to run. But when you're up by 1 or down by 1, 2 outs in the inning, you've got some speed on there. Now's the time you put yourself in scoring position, because now you don't have to wait around for 2 hits to score you. A little base hit by Wilson Valdez drives an insurance run in.
Two on Valdez. Hughes working off the first base edge of that pitching rubber. Bringing it to the plate. And misses in.
You know, take another look at the schedules, Tom, of that St. Louis ball club now. I know they just were swept by the Padres. They'll go, as you mentioned, up to L.A. to play 4 straight. And then they will host the Astros and go on the road to play the Cubs and the Astros. So about the next 9 games that they will play after L.A. would be against the 2 worst teams in the National League.
Gone swinging is Valdez, and we go to the 8th, the 2-1 game. MLB.com at back 12. Text 31826 or visit Reds.com for details. And coming up right after the game, every game here on Fox Sports Ohio, Reds Live. Brought to you by Kings Honda, the Kings Auto Mall. Visit KingsHondaUSA.com. Reds 2, Pirates 1, end of 7. And now it's Sam LeCure taking on the mound.
Sam LeCure has come a long way this year. I mean, he opens the season as a long man, a guy that'll get in early if the starter gets bounced out with a bad outing, or he's late in the ball game, like extra innings, 12 or 13 innings. But now he's pitched so well lately. In fact, the last time he came out, he struck out the side, got out of a bases loaded jam before he did that. And Dusty Baker's using him in one of the most important spots in the ball game, which is a setup role, 1-run lead, 8th inning.
We've talked about it so many times, whether it be out of necessity, whether it be as a plan. You know, the way things have been handled by Dusty Baker with this bullpen, and obviously statistically it's a #1 ranked bullpen in all of Major League Baseball. It really has been most the entire season. But all of those guys down there have had a chance to either A, save games. 5 different pitchers have saves on this bullpen staff. Or they have been given chances like LeCure is tonight and other times this year to pitch in a 1-run ball game in the 7th or 8th inning.
And believe me, that builds up your ego. If you're only in a ball game when your team's losing, pretty soon you feel like a losing pitcher, even if you're pitching well. You know that the manager doesn't have faith in you, and you know, I really like the way Dusty's handled his bullpen. Of course, hard to argue with. They've allowed about 30 fewer runs than any other bullpen in the National League. I say about. We can look it up, but I mean that's about approximately what it is.
Without a doubt, one of the things that will be followed so closely by all of us, all Reds fans, obviously by the organization. There's a ground ball by Snyder into the glove of Votto. LeCure takes care of him to start the 8th inning. And it's going to be followed by a lot of other people. A lot of interested parties keeping an eye on how this whole Aroldis Chapman thing plays out. Calling it a dead arm. Fatigue. He had gone since June the 24th in a dominant fashion that has really not been seen perhaps ever by a closer over a nearly 3-month time frame, where he did not blow a single save. Heck, he barely gave up a single run. Then all of a sudden over the weekend on Friday night he gave up a home run to lose a game against the Astros. And did not appear, Chris, to be the same guy the next couple of times out. In fact, here on Monday night, he walked the bases loaded and had to be taken out of the game in favor of LeCure. One and on the count on Andrew McCutchen. Swing and a miss.
Tom, the only thing I could go back, I mean, there's not a lot of precedent for Aroldis Chapman because this is his first year doing what he's doing. But if you just go back to this year, you know when he blew that save against the Minnesota Twins, gave up that home run the left field to blow that game.
Yep.
And then he pitched a couple of days later against Milwaukee and got a save. But he went 6 days between that outing and then the first time he pitched again, which was at Los Angeles. He did not pitch at all in the San Francisco portion of that road trip. There was an off day in there somewhere, I believe. And since that point on, that's when he really started to pitch well. In LA, in San Diego, his velocity got back up to 100 miles an hour, and that was a 6-day rest. So I think that what Dusty Baker and Brian Price and Max Jenkins have all gotten together and said, hey, it worked before. He says he has no pain. Let's just give him a rest. We've got a 10-game lead. I imagine it will work again. Big hitter right here.
1-2 on Andrew McCutchen. LeCure worked a perfect inning and a third in the game, 14-inning game here on Monday night. McCutchen with 26 home runs on the season. And his team down by 1 in the 8th inning. 2-2 count. And LeCure cuts it loose. Off the end of the bat, popped up short center. This will be out number 2. Garrett Jones has 23 home runs on the year. Tonight 1 of 3. Had a single in the center field in the 4th. And just missed hitting one out of here back in the 5th inning. Strike 1 knee high outside corner. Oh my, that didn't miss by much.
Well, sometimes you throw a breaking ball so good you even fool the umpire. Or you fool the fox tracks.
1-1 to Garrett Jones, and LeCure to the plate. Fastball fouled off out of play to get ahead 1-2. Jones hit that ball off the end and broke his back. But now the crowd going to get behind, one would assume anyway. Sam LeCure with 2 outs. Trying to go right through the heart of this Pirate lineup with a 1-run lead in the 8th inning. Phillips is there. Oh, the sweet shovel feed to Votto, and that'll end the inning. LeCure sets him down 1, 2, 3. Brandon Phillips makes so many of them on a nightly basis, you don't know which one to pick. That's an unbelievable play. I mean, that's a fast runner home. In mid-slide, he's able to get enough on the throw. And then for an encore, this to end the 8th. Oh. Guys, something, man.
Yeah, he plays second base like a ballet dancer.
Really does. So graceful. My, oh my. Jordy Mercer takes over at third for Josh Harrison. And now the Pirates bring in the left-hander Tony Watson. He's gotten better and better as years gone on.
Got a good arm. Low to mid 90s with a fastball out of a southpaw.
Joey 1 of 3 in the game, had a single back in the first inning, robbed of a hit and an RBI in the 5th on a nice play by the Pirates second baseman Brock Holt. You know, we've been talking so much about Milwaukee and Philadelphia drawing within 3 of the wild card. Philadelphia's already won. Cardinals have already lost. Milwaukee now a huge lead, 8-2 over Atlanta. That game in the 6th inning. Arizona with a win tonight would be 4 games out of the wild card. And the Diamondbacks playing against the Dodgers, trailing early in the 2nd inning, 2-0. Two and two on Vino, Ludwig to follow, and then Jay Bruce. Reds batting in the bottom of the 8th inning, 3 outs away from a 3-game sweep. They got a big tack-on run in the game last night on the 1-out solo home run by Rowland. It took it from a 1-run lead to a 2-run lead before Broxton nailed it down in the top of the 9th. Two to count on Joey Votto, and there's ball 4. He draws a walk. Now, you got to believe the Reds, are probably not going to use Jonathan Broxton tonight. He's pitching what, 3 straight days, and in fact, you take a peek down there in that bullpen right now. They've got the young man who is closing in AAA, J.J. Hoover.
I like that a lot. I mean, you put him in a crucial part of the ball game. Yeah, you've got a 10-game lead. I mean, so if you lose this game, the roof doesn't cave in on you. I'm sure that if the Reds were neck and neck like a lot of teams in this wild card race, you wouldn't see J.J. Hoover in there in the 9th inning. But it's a nice experience for him. Last year, the Cardinals, I believe, had 8 different pitchers have saves on that ball club. Reds are beginning to spread the wealth around too.
Buxton has pitched in the last 2 games. He did not pitch in the Friday night loss against the Astros. Cingrani made his major league debut, followed by Andrusic and Arredondo. 1-1 on Ryan Ludwig. But he has pitched in what, 1, 2, 3, 4 of the last 5 games.
Well, even Iron Man needs a rest.
One ball, 1 strike on Ryan Ludwig. Foul tipped into the mid of the catcher McHenry. And it's a ball and 2 strikes. Strike 3 call. Jay Bruce now to batter. Bruce 0 for 3 in a game. Weiss's fly to center and a strikeout sandwiched in between. Hook down the right field line towards the corner and foul. Well, where at Cincinnati, USA is Jim Day. Stay tuned to Fox Sports Ohio and follow the Reds Live host as he visits Cincinnati's attractions and events. CincinnatiUSA.com. Bobbled and in time to get Bruce. Votto advancing on to second base.
You know what we saw right there at second base, Tom, was Joey Votto sliding head first for maybe the first time I've ever seen him do that. He wasn't sure whether there was going to be a play on him at second base or not. When that ball was in on the ground, he put his head down and ran hard towards second. But, you know, you've got to figure that he's a little attentive still. I mean, that's an odd slide, too.
Well, it looked like he wanted to go in feet first and then change his mind.
That's exactly right. And, you know, he re-injured his knee when he was in Milwaukee after he had the first surgery, was practice sliding on a sliding mat. His foot got caught, dislodged another piece of meniscus tissue, and they ended up having to go back in there again. And he still looks very tentative about going feet first somewhere. He's had a lot of different stops, has Jason Grilli. Florida, the White Sox, 4 years in Detroit, a couple of years in Colorado and Texas for part of a season in 2009. The last couple of years now with the Pirates. He's been good for the Pirates.
I mean, he was down to really his final chance. I mean, let's face it, the Pirates were a team, you know, among the worst in all of baseball, and they're looking for, you know, lightning in a bottle like a lot of teams are. And when they brought Grilli in and gave him the opportunity, and he's made the most of it. Two and one to Roland, and a big swing and a miss. 94-mile-per-hour fastball from the Pirate right-handed.
Oh, he's a big guy too. I mean, the Pirates have some large human beings in their pitching staff out in the bullpen, much like the Reds. They've got Grilli listed at 6'5", about 230. His dad pitched in the big leagues. That was Dan, a scout for the Cardinals.
Three and two on Roland. Runner at second is Votto. Check swing and a miss, inning over. All right, it's going to be the youngster getting a chance to nail it down in a 2-1 lead, and here comes J.J. Hoover. Pitching out, suicide squeeze attempt, and Hannigan made the play. Fumbled it ever so slightly, but recovered in time. Saw that ball almost like the snow cone, nearly popping out of the mitt. And Hannigan, it looked like he got spiked on the play. They gave him a little while to make sure everything was okay, and he stayed in there the rest of the way. And now the big story becomes J.J. Hoover. A couple of other changes. Heisey goes from center field into left field. Drew Stubbs now in center. But the rookie J.J. Hoover, the closer, once he was sent from the major league club back to the minor leagues in 30 outings with the Louisville Bats. A 4-0 record, a 1.22 ERA, 13 saves in 14 chances. Opponents hit 121 in 37 innings, allowed 15 hits, and punched out 55 batters. This would be his first save opportunity as a major leaguer.
Yeah, and the big challenge for J.J. right here is just trying to control his emotions, stay within himself, and not try to overthrow. That's a lot easier said than done when you're going for your first big league save.
It is hard to believe watching Hoover, and of course the Atlanta Braves have two of the most talented young relief pitchers in all of baseball. I mean, last year, who is better than that duo they had down there from the left side and the right side, and Kimbrel has maintained it this year. But it's hard to believe this guy was sitting in the minor leagues for as long as he was with Atlanta. I mean, it's not 10 years or something like that.
Well, just think about the deal that the Braves made. I mean, the Reds were looking for somebody to take Juan Francisco because he just wasn't fitting into this ball club here. Had a world of talent. Braves thought, well, we'll take him. He's got a lot of talent. And the Reds did a fine scouting job with their pro scouts.
Well, he
got a guy like J.J. Hoover.
Wore out Sanchez on that fastball. That's 94.
And it's not just 94. It's got life on it. If you watch the way he throws, he really gets his front side open and really good extension. I like him because he gets guys out with his fastball. He's not out there trying to trick them.
Well, really, the only time he stumbled at all with a major league club, and obviously when you have the kind of numbers he has, an ERA barely over 2 in 22 major league games, is when he seemed to fall in love for about a 2-outing stretch with a breaking ball. That's just good old country hardball right there.
He's not in love with that breaking ball now. He hasn't thrown one yet. Got a little pop right here, though. Don't leave one out over the plate and let this kid run into it.
Tripled into right center field. We're down the right field corner, I beg your pardon. His last time up did pressing.
Uses his legs very well. He's got these big, strong legs.
Ahead 0-2 on Presley, and here it comes. Fastball up and away and fouled away.
And this has got to be extra special for J.J. because Hoover is from Elizabeth, Pennsylvania, which is closer to Pittsburgh than it is to Philadelphia. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, it's like a bedroom community of Pittsburgh area. He ended up going down to Calhoun Community College in Alabama because that was the only offer he had out of high school.
See Hannigan really coaching him to get that thing down and away. Oh, man. I mean, that's right where the glove was, and it's called ball one. Well, Hannigan is such a cheerleader for his pitchers out there. How do you not get that call? Softly into the middle of Roland. 2 out. So now Mr. Hoover with 1 out to go. Foul out of play. Jeff Clement. Wanting timeout. 0-1 the count. Reds an out away from a weak 3-game sweep. And it's up and away. 1 ball and 1 strike. This homestand began in rather poor fashion, losing 2 of 3 to both the Phillies and the Astros. But now a chance to end it on a 3-game winning streak. One and 2. Three and 2 now on Clement. Jose Tabata has made his way into the on-deck circle. So Hoover got ahead 1 and 2. Now it's 3 and 2. A strike away, an out away from sweeping the Pirates out of the Queen City. And a base hit into left field, keeping the Pirates' hopes alive.
Well, you see how deep the Reds outfielders are playing. Chris Heisey, Stubbs, and Bruce really hugging the warning track and making sure that no ball gets behind them that put a runner in the scoring position. No doubles.
Well, a pinch runner comes into the game for the Pirates. That'll be Chase D'Arnaud. And Tabata will be the batter.
I imagine that this matchup happened at some point with J.J. Hoover pitching in the Braves organization in AAA and Tabata spending some minor league time over the last couple of years, including this year.
Fastball in there, strike. A bit of a surprise. Tabata was not in the lineup tonight. He has had an excellent series. Oh, 1 delivery. Gas. And now Hoover once more, with a chance to close it out for the first time in his major league career. The magic number is 8 for the Reds in the National League Central.
Nice.
J.J. Hoover, his first major league save. And the Reds sweep the Pirates as the Reds go to 30 games over 500. And the most important number of them all right now, 8. Cardinals lost, swept in San Diego. So that magic number just in the last 3 days has gone from 14 down to 8.
Well, Dusty Baker, one of the things he wanted to do as early as he can is clinch so that he can rest his guys, get them on a schedule to prepare them for the postseason. That's a happy group of guys after a 3-game sweep of the Pirates this last 3 games. Boy, the pitching this Reds ball club has run out there is just airtight.
Bullpen is sick. And it's making the opposition sick.